I'm sure they did at the same time. Oh, do you? Oh. Hey, what's up, peoples? Welcome, 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 welcome. Let me open up the chat. Hashtag treat yourself. This is treat yourself weekend, and I think I'm gonna make it an annual thing. Treat yourself weekend. One of the reasons I chose to treat myself was because I didn't celebrate my birthday this year, and I'm getting a little too old not to acknowledge my own birth. And I really have never really celebrated it. It's a lot of stuff connected to my dad and all those things that I don't like to really talk about. Um, it's reasons why I don't celebrate it. Like he died like a week and a half before my birthday, so I never, since a child. My dad died when I was in the second grade, so I've had many birthdays. You know how your mom put some burgers on the grill and stuff like that. So I've done stuff like that, but never really like celebrating, especially as an adult. I've attempted to. I've even tried on my own, like to go on vacation. I went to Jamaica one year by myself. Um, it was a great experience, but I say Jamaica and like island places are not comfortable by yourself. Like if they're comfortable, I had fun. I met some other singles that were there as well, but I'm not. I'm saying it's not really a place that you should want to go by yourself, unless you looking to get your groove back. But this Friday, probably probably like at 9 o'clock at night, I had it with my apartment. And normally, maybe like every other week or so, I will go down to the station where we normally shoot the show from and just check up on it, and then I'll decide to do my show from there or something. But I haven't even done that in over a month now, and I just got tired of like going to the market for my activity for the day. So I had I'm not gonna tell you all my business because it ain't none of your business what I had. But I did everything that I got like in tips and stuff like that throughout the year. I normally keep that in a jar, and I decide at some point to treat myself. So the treat myself thing is a real thing in my life, but I just never plan for it. Other than if I get any tips when I do like bartending gigs or whatever, I normally just cool all that and I put it in a jar. And then if I'm feeling like I'm about to murder somebody, um, I normally go into that jar and do something nice for myself. And I decided to do that this weekend. Well, this weekend turned into Monday, and I'm really relaxed. And so since Friday, I've been treating myself to a mini vacation, and I never do something like this, and I don't feel bad. I don't feel like I blew cash or anything, but I rarely do things for myself like this. And I decided, and me paying a lot of bills for the last 3 months and trying to catch up on things and get myself back on track, I decided I deserved something for myself. So that's what I did. And I really took the time to just mellow out. I wasn't an employee this weekend. I really didn't get on social media that much that weekend. And a buddy came with me, and we're safe. We both been doing what we supposed to been doing in terms of like keeping ourselves out of the outside world to keep ourselves safe. And I just feel so relaxed. Like I've done nothing, literally nothing, but order some food and just just have fun, just relaxation type of fun. It is nothing. I'm have to say, it's nothing like being in a hotel bed that will just melt everything away. And I really have felt very comfortable this weekend. So I um I wanted to talk a little bit about um things that happened this weekend. Shout out to Fifth L. They put out an awesome um treatment to their newest project. And if you don't see it, you can go to the Artist Exchange page to check it out. It's a phenomenal uh, piece of work. And I, in my heart, I interviewed Femi. I didn't get to interview David yet. I'm gonna reach out to him. And I interviewed DDM and the fifth out, which is David and Femi, and then DDM, who is DDM. Um, they both put out projects that really was honest, truthful, and just spoke to where we are right now. A lot of us are as black men are, and it was one of the reasons why I decided to like treat myself this weekend because I was given a lot of myself in many different spaces, and I really wasn't moving. Like I physically was not moving, but I was still working and doing, and that's all good. If you know me, you know me. I'm not a person that is a I like my money. I like making money, but I'm not a person that is all about like all about money and such. So let me push this to the sun. And but I really enjoy making money. But um, I said all this to say I just wanted to do something more, and I want to do more. I'm not itching to get back outside because it's dangerous, and I see a lot of industries, a lot of businesses that are crying and making these commercials. I see these insurance commercials with these whack um, business owners boo-hooing about being forced to shut down in the midst of a pandemic. Nobody is speaking about the pandemic. Nobody is speaking about the lives that have been lost and that are continuously dying on a daily basis, not on a weekly or monthly, but on a daily basis. There are tons of people. The numbers may have subsided temporarily, but we're not at a space right now where we can like, oh, let's go back to normal. I can go outside and don't have a mask on. I don't have to practice proper pandemic procedures. I can all those things, and I feel we are getting to a level of greed. I've seen greed come out of people in conversations. I've been having a lot of meetings in terms of like, what is next school year going to look like, and a lot of artist panels that are like trying to help artists to stabilize their careers so we don't just bottom out of our progress that we made thus far. And greed has been the central bullet point in all of these conversations. And nobody is calling it greed, but it is definitely greed. You see people holding on to things more. You see people um, trying to get what you got and what they got, you know, and it's so unfortunate because we're being forced to spend the money that we are making at this moment because everybody wants a little bit of help. Everybody needs a little bit of help, but nobody is thinking about each other. Everybody's thinking about themselves. And I purposely try to run my business. And, you know, what's unfortunate is we all, um, we all are at a space where we are in need, and we because we're business owners, because we are entrepreneurs, everybody needs some help, but nobody is really focusing on um, their brothers, their sisters. You know, I had gotten to a point Friday where I was so frustrated because every phone call I got, and it's tough to even say because it kind of puts a little frog in my throat. But it was hurtful to me that most of the people that contacted me had nothing positive to say. And I'm not saying everybody was negative. I'm saying nobody said, Nate, how you doing? Good. How you doing? You eating? You good? Everything good at home? Like, are you healthy? Like nobody ever asked. Everybody who called, not everybody. Shout out to Jay and Shar and ooh, I can't even think of many other people. My friend Sheena, Sheena, and Vanna called me. Um, and I really can't even think of anybody else. Latanya, the names are popping in my head because they were far in between. But these are the people who reached out to me a couple times to, see if I was okay. Everybody else wanted me to donate to their charity. Everybody else wanted me to perform or direct something or facilitate a virtual something or another. Or ask me, can they join so that I can, help them get a couple dollars. Like, and I don't mind helping people, but if you only call people to ask them for something, like, do you really care about them? And if you don't, say that up front. Be forceful with your arrogance and your selfishness. I'd rather somebody be upfront with me than to hide it because then you're giving me the right of choice. But I don't like fake. Hey, what's going on, friend? How you been? So I'm doing this thing. No, and I even put my virtual events on hold because it was turning more into um, me sending you a cash app payment for your participation than you supporting me. Like, and I don't want to turn it into that because I had a conversation with someone about me complaining about support, but because it wasn't about me, I didn't do that for other people. I did it for them. I didn't have a problem with people necessarily calling me wanting to be a part of it so they could get paid. But if that's all you were focused on, we all trying to like heal ourselves and be. I started the virtual event because I was getting in a dark spot and I needed to be creative, and that was my open door to kind of flow. And it really has helped me because now I'm getting more active in my jewelry. Shout out to Bashtop Blue Designs. Find me on Etsy or you can go to www.bashtopbluejewelry.com. Uh, Shameless plug. But I really was excited about everything. And I think Friday, everything came to a head. I didn't even do my show on Friday. And I started pulling out of all the things that I was starting and I was initiating, and I've really invested a lot into what I was doing, and I really was a little perturbed because I didn't feel full. You know how you have a bucket with a hole in at the bottom, and you don't know it's a hole in the bottom. You're steadily pouring into it, and this mess underneath the bucket. And that's what I was starting to feel like. So Friday, I woke up with a headache, and it progressively got worse. And I thought it was because I was starting to kind of fall back on my new diet. But I hadn't eaten anything that day, so I was like, let me eat something, and I felt the physical feeling of being full, but I felt like I just had this headache, and I know what I was thinking about, and I had went to bed thinking about, and I had woke up thinking about, and that whole day I had been thinking about, and I had to end up, calling Monty at the last minute and saying, I, I'm saying like that's how it is, Monty. Monty says me either. No one has called me at all, and it's crazy because it's the person that you can always depend on, like. You know, I have to, um, I have to shout out, Marnie for agreeing to like keeping this going and deciding to keep the station going because it really could have been ugly for all of us, and I don't know how the other hosts of the other shows feel, but it has really been um, a blessing for me to continue doing the show even through this. If you want to call in and join the conversation, you do so at 443-642-9403. Again, that phone number is 443-642 9403. Join the conversation. Oh, Marty, someone's in the lobby part. Um, so yes, give us a call, join in the conversation. I want to hear from you. Um, Oh, look who it is. Is she on yet? I know her audio is connecting, but yeah, Friday was ugly for me. Um, and it made me, you know, decide. I checked into this hotel at midnight, and it's a nice space. Shout out to Fashion Umbrella Foundation. I won a raffle, and I cashed in that raffle. Oh, look at Miss Shania.
Hi, how are you? Got my little post work look. Hold up.
Ooh, when's your birthday?
My birthday was 11 days, 12 days ago, June 10th.
Oh, see, we should have had a birthday party together.
I know. We should have, but this
We should
quarantine done
have.
messed up everybody's fun.
So next year, I want to be in South Africa for Gemini season.
I'm going to be in Ghana.
I mean, are you getting married or something? Or you?
Well, I mean, go ahead and speak those things into existence as though they are, but no. Um, no, some friends and I from school were really looking at an opportunity to go and buy land in Ghana.
Oh,
Yeah. Because the
so you're
US
gonna
then
make a
lost
trip
their
out of it.
goddamn minds. Everybody white acting like racism just popped up yesterday. They want to find out what books to read and shit. I don't have time for all that. I'm going somewhere where everybody knew racism existed for a long time and they
So you
cared
going
about
for your birthday?
it. No, we're going to look at buying some land and possibly moving.
Oh, it's hot there.
Yes, it is. And I am so I'm the one they worried about because they call me bougie. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not, but I am a little bit. I just don't need it to smell bad. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think it's gonna smell bad. So what happens is I get these thoughts based on things like this that's happening, and I start looking at shit. So there's always a YouTube for something. So there are a
Right.
lot of these bloggers that are going around to these homes in places like Ghana and Nigeria and South Africa, and they are like doing these tours of these apartments, and I'm like, so y'all lights just go off? It don't stay on? Like,
Wait. So first of all, I don't know anything about any of that, which is why we're going to visit first because
so that, but that no, I said that, but these
there are
were
certain
actual.
things like I'm not about to be like, oh, you want 6,000 for a piece of land? Let me go ahead and send that over. First of all, I don't trust us. I
Yes,
don't trust anybody. So that's number
anybody.
one.
Has
So we're
nothing
gonna
to do
go
with
check it out
safeguarding.
and see if it's like a legit place to like, even if it's a place we could buy land and set up a place to go for the summer.
Right.
Just and go every summer, or maybe invest in like kids down. I mean, we just want to see what there is to offer there,
Yeah.
and if we could be of assistance, and if it makes sense to help to try to build community there, because
Mm,
building community here is hard. And it's not that we want to abandon or jump ships. I mean, the friends that I'm talking about are heavily invested in education here, but
uh,
we are the only ones invested in our education here. And by us, I mean our young kids. To see what's going on with the school system is so disheartening for me. It's like it went from,
yeah.
hey, vote for these casinos and we're going to take the money and give it to schools. And the same year they removed books from schools. You know what I mean? Stuff where you just continuously get bamboozled. So I'm just,
It's unfortunate. It's
it is.
sad. I was just talking to a friend, and I was saying part of me wants to continue teaching, but the other part of me don't want to put up with the politics. And I
Yeah.
work for a third party company that employs me to work in a school. So the school looks for certain types of teachers, specific education teachers, and my company supplies us, not those that we out there. But
So hold on one second. I got to fix my ponytail. I can't believe you let me do this. It was tragic. Like, it was tragic.
But this is no judgment quarantine. Like you can't judge people on quarantine.
I mean, but you never know. People do though. I ain't got time. My
Oh
hair
yeah,
is
because I
cute.
got a fresh
First of all,
baldy is
yeah,
a
I'm going to
shaper.
get my hair did soon, but I had to wait for some moolah, which just came through. I shouted all the way to the mailbox
Hey,
this morning.
come on,
Thank you.
commission. Come
Come.
on. I know.
What?
The
Nigga
highest
needed that.
praise. Giving them the highest praise.
Did I? I was like, Jesus, you are not only on time, sir, but right on time. And
Always right
don't I
on
love you
time.
for it? I'm
Won't
look,
he love it? Won't he do it? Won't he do it?
because the nigga was in here sweating here. Like, I just don't
Woo!
know what I'm gonna tell these people.
Oh, you
I
be
don't
that close.
know.
You be that close from corner
I don't
life.
know what I'm
You,
gonna tell them. Look,
I'm selling crack or I'm selling
big
ass.
box life. Look, I ain't never thought so hard about strip clubs
You be
in my
like,
life. I was like, and niggas
you be
still
like, if
got it.
I
I'm sure
work,
there are plenty of 40 and over strip clubs who will find my little plump self
if I
free.
can get 10 people to give me 500,
Yo,
what
if
would
I
I
can
have
get
to
10
do for the
people,
500?
let me tell you where I was. If I could get 10 people to give me $5, I was like, that'll help.
Oh no, no,
I
not
was
that
like, hold up.
$5.
Nah,
We too
but
bougie for
a
that.
whole bunch of
We are
policies that I
bougie.
closed finally came through. And I mean, they like all came through at once. So I was like, this is perfect. I just broke up with my boyfriend. I just kicked him out. It's time to move on. I'm looking for new places. I'm about to buy a new car.
You had me thinking. Oh, you had me thinking about a new place.
It had to happen because I don't get me wrong, I love my place. I love my place. It's
I
my
don't.
apartment is absolutely gorgeous. Let me show you the view. Hold on. Let me show you why I love my place, why I picked this apartment. Look at this view.
I know you have. Well, I haven't been there, but I've been to the building. I love your building. I
I
just
love my
can't
building
afford it.
too. But for $2,000 a month, I'm I'm gonna have to
Um,
part ways. Cause and I
um,
it's not even that it's like when you living with somebody and you can split that in half, workable. But when you talk about that kind of money solo dolo,
you only thinking about
things
sucking on something.
change.
Like, how maybe if I could suck two of them every day. No. I
All
don't
I
know.
gotta do is try me.
We may have to have a heart to heart because I don't like my apartment. This and it's not. It was I was putting up with it because I was sacrificing. And as what you went through when I first moved into the apartment that I was in 8 years ago now, I was going through the same thing, and I was reestablishing myself, and I I I sacrificed on my home comfort. And my house is comfortable. Like I've made it more comfortable in the last 3 months, but I want better. I deserve better.
Well,
I think it
yeah,
makes me work harder.
I had I have two apartments that I've applied to.
Hmm.
Ironically, both are on Calvert Street. One is so Mount Vernish, like the 1,000 blocks, so not too far from Envy Nails, like
Hmm.
right there. And it's
Oh, the
actually
new. Oh, that's a new one too.
it's fully renovated. It is one bedroom, one bath, but it is complete. The bedroom is huge. It has a really unique floor plan. It has a faux fireplace in there. It's a first floor level, central air, central heat, gas stove, dishwasher, washer dryer, like all the
Mhm.
perks, all the things. So I love it. It's reasonably priced. And she was like, "You're the first person to see it." I was like, "Put an application on this sucker today so that
Right.
I can grab it up." So I applied there. And then before I saw that one, I saw one that was 2 bedroom, two bath in Charles Village, 2625 North Charles Street. And so real cute block, real cute, like real residential, it's colorful.
Mhm.
Um, the only thing is it doesn't have central air, but it comes with air conditioning units. So, and I don't really need a 2 bedroom, two bath. I really don't. It's only me and a dog, but I can make the other bedroom work. Leah will have her own room and I'll make an office or something, whatever. But I prefer the one down here just because it's close to where I am now. It's the area I like. I'm used to all that. So
Mhm.
I'm hopeful. Either way, one of them is gonna come through and I'm toodaloo out this mug. And I'm really excited. This is my last month. So I told them I would be moving this week and all of the pressure is on. My heart palpitations have started because I hate moving. I hate moving.
Yeah.
But it's gotta happen. And now,
This know that you're comfortable. Hey, Jay Nicole, Joanne. Go ahead.
yeah, and now that I'm looking for a car too, feels like I'm about to have a whole brand new life.
You are. Just make sure, and I only say it because, like I said, when I first moved to this apartment, it was my 30 start over.
Mhm.
And I just wish I would have focused on my comfort more so than my sanity. And I know that sounds crazy, but I was working. I just wanted my sanity to be
Oh
together.
no, Shania is, first of all, I'm all about comfort because what I do know is I do not want to have to do this again for at least the next 3 years. Wherever I'm going, I'm
Mhm.
sitting for a minute. I've been here for 2.5 years, which is
Right.
honestly the longest I've been in a place in a long time. Because usually Lisa's up and I'm like, okay, time to go. So this is, I'm trying to find something that I know where I'll be comfortable. So the fact that it's on the ground level, it's easy to move into. I usually have a problem with the ground level being a single young woman, but because I've had a bad experience in Colombia, no less. But
Not
this,
Columbia, because people
honey,
be like, Columbia is
honey,
just so, it's
no,
so,
let me tell you, I moved to a condo in
that's an
Colombia,
inside joke.
a one, no, it ain't an inside joke. People think
So
that
in my mind,
that 21045
that
speaks.
lady who watching this, that's so bougie.
See, you got me out here dissing people on the snake. Don't do that. But the
Well,
people,
that was a
wait,
free one.
but the people who do the do live in that 21045, they do think pretty highly of it. But anyway, I moved right in front of St. John's Baptist Church, right behind
Mhm.
there, off of
Oh,
Tamar.
I know
And there's a condo. It's a small little community, but I moved in there on the first floor. I loved the condo. It was so nice, spacious. The back was facing the woods, like literally had a little stream behind it, trees. It was very picturesque. I was like, oh, this is perfect. And he only wanted, I mean, this was a long time ago, but 850, which was a relatively a steal for a space that size. So I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, cool. Moved in. True story. So one night I was going to my boyfriend's house and had left out and realized I left my keys in the house and had locked myself out. So luckily I had my phone, and this is the only apartment. This is how God works. This is the only apartment my mother's ever had my key, because I don't really, we don't really deal like that. So I called my mother. It was like midnight, and I was like, "Ma, I need you to come let me in the house." And she was like, "You was out here trying to be a little hoe, you know she is." I was like, "Ma, come let me in the apartment." So she, which I mean, it was a feat. She had to drive from Owens Mills, so she came, let me in, and when she was leaving, so before my mother got there, these two guys came out, and I was smoking a DeJourne, and this guy asked me if I needed a light, and I was like, "Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do." And we was talking, chitty chatting, and he asked me if I lived here, and I said, "Yeah, whatever." No big deal. So he moved on. So my mother comes, she sees the guys. My mother says when she was leaving, she heard one of them ask the other one, "Oh, does she live there by herself?" Now, and the guy was like, "Yeah." See, for me, that would be a red flag. If it was my child and I had ever heard anybody say, like, I would be like, "Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Wait, why?" Like, that would be a red flag to me. Now, my mother, she keeps it moving. I don't even like
Well,
understand.
because part of it would be dangerous to approach them
But
because,
that's it. No, but you at least tell me. Don't
oh,
you warn me?
yeah,
These niggas is asking about if you live there by yourself. That's a red flag, okay? Because when the dude came and knocked on my door that night and said, "Hey, can I use your phone?" I wouldn't have answered. But me, he knocks on the door. This is like 10 minutes after my mother leaves. Now, if my mother had called me and said, "Them boys was outside discussing you,"
they was
and one of
watching.
I would have never opened the door. I would have called the police on site, okay? But
They
no,
was
she was
watching.
exactly. So I answered the door. And he like, "Hey, do you mind if I use your phone real quick?" So I said, "Sure." So I go and get my phone. He stands in the vestibule, clearly checking out my apartment, I guess. I don't know. But here's the scary part. Long story short, about a week later, me and my boyfriend go to the movies. I'm leaving the movie theater and it starts to snow. And he was supposed to go out with his homeboys, but he was like, "You know what? It's snowing. I'm not going away." He was like, "I don't want you snowed in by yourself. So go home, get Massimo, who's my dog at the time." He was like, "Pack him up, pack a bag, and come back to my place." He was like, you can stay with me during the snowstorm." So I was like, "Okay, cool, whatever." So I go home, pack a bag, go to his place. In the middle of the night that night, I get a phone call from Howard County Police that someone has thrown a brick through my bedroom window.
Oh
The
no!
neighbor, the neighbor saw him coming out of my patio, glass patio. He said he found it odd because, first of all, he knew I was the only one that lived there. And number two, who was this guy that kept coming in and out, randomly in a snowstorm? So the cops show up. This is the other frightening part. The guy has He's armed. He's got a gun, but he's taken nothing out of my apartment except he had my bra in his pocket.
What? No, stop. I know.
They said he was high out of his mind. Yo, I could have been seriously hurt that night.
Yeah.
And I was so grateful that I wasn't there. But that's always been my fear of living on the first floor. But to this landlord's credit, all of the windows have bars, and although it's not aesthetic, I prefer it.
How are the back windows?
There are no back windows. So the only windows are windows that are in the bedroom, and there are windows like in the living room, but all of them are barred. All of them. And then the one door that leads to the outside, because there's one door that you have to get through the building, which is a secure building, but there's also a back door that is right on the street, on Chase Street. But that door is locked and deadbolted. So I feel a little bit, you know what I mean? I feel okay about it. It's a little more secure than having a bedroom window right on ground level with nothing to protect it. You know what I mean?
Am I frozen?
I can see you.
Lonnie, am I frozen?
No.
Okay.
We got people on here. I'm telling my whole life stories. I forgot we be on the radio. I'm talking to you like we on the phone. What in the hell? I'm putting all my business in the street.
But before you came on, I was really talking about Friday being like one of those days for me where I just needed to get the hell out. And now throughout my life, I've had those moments where I've gotten a windfall, like a big piece of change, and like, get out of here, Nick, get out of here. And I've left Baltimore a couple times, but because I've always, I know you're gonna be so glad when we get away from that light rail.
Look, and the thing is, it's summertime now, so my windows be open. But my poor dog is going through because her ears are real sensitive. Yeah. And it's not even that one that's annoying. There's a cargo one that comes through that's a MARC train.
Yeah,
child, that joint rumbles like. Anyway, yes.
I used to hear that one from Reed Street. I used to live right down Reed Street.
Oh, it's right next to my bedroom. No, let me show you again. Let me show you where it is. So you see that? See where the track is and the light? Right behind that, under that is where the other one comes to.
It goes underneath the light rail. But I had this feeling, and it actually really started that night that we was talking. Mm-hmm. And after you went to sleep, I was up with my own damn thoughts.
Sorry about that.
No, I mean, it had to happen. Like, I think mentally I had locked down that part of my brain that worries. And worry is healthy because it's telling you something you need to fix. But I think throughout the quarantine, I really decided to shut it off down, because
worry is healthy in small doses. Worry can be, the way I worry is extremely unhealthy. I overthink everything. So
yeah. But it was worry. I think going into this, I was worried that these four walls were going to start closing in on me, and I didn't want to do it. So it kind of opened that up, and I was like, I gotta get the hell out of here. And I walked around the block that night. Well, that morning, because it was
right. Because I got off the phone with you. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. Wasn't it?
So I walked around the block a little bit, and I came back in before anybody thought I was prostituting. Because you know the Charles Village, Mount Vernon area.
Well, don't be tempted, because that's money. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I don't want that kind of money, because
look, times get hard, Nate. Look, don't be out here judging people. Times be hard.
I just don't want it like that. I don't want it. I don't want mine like that. I'm sorry, call me bougie. I'm a household. If I'm gonna be a hoe, I'm gonna be a household. I ain't for that outside like alleys and shit. I'm not gonna do it in no alley. But
I say, look, first of all, sex worker does not necessarily mean it has to be dirty. There are plenty of people that will meet you somewhere clean and professional, pay you top dollar.
Hey, that's, you know what? Because you live in a special section right now. You ain't seen the get down. You ain't been walking on a humble and heard a oh
no.
You ain't You ain't done that. Call in 443-642-9403. Talk to us. Let us know how you feeling in this quarantine. But yeah, so I don't want that type of life. But anyway, so I came back in and oh my god, I did not go to sleep that night. I didn't go to sleep until the next night.
I've had
And
those nights.
I was up and I was just thinking about a lot of things. I had started really like trying to invest in my jewelry company. And, you know, I've been writing down some notes for me and Marnie for the station and trying to figure things out in terms of work wise because I don't want things the same way. And Friday hit. Because what night was that? Was that like Wednesday or Tuesday or something? So I was,
Uh,
whatever night that was, I just
it's
think
about to pull down.
it is. It just got real gray, real
Hmm.
quick. And so by the time Friday got there, I wasn't worried, but I was just thinking a lot about things that I want and how I want things. And I just started looking around my room like I got to get the fuck out of here. And I was like,
That's how it
yeah,
was yesterday.
and then you answer yourself and you're like, yeah, but you about to get it. It's you gotta win no. And then that other side of my brain was like, no, you gotta get the fuck out here right now. So I don't know what was happening. I just went to looking for some stuff and I pulled out, I didn't even know where I was going. I just pulled out a suitcase and started packing it. And I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just got to the steps and I went to my phone and I booked a hotel room. And I said, I gotta get the fuck out of here now. And I was like, Nick, what is you doing? Like, what's going on with you? And that other part of my brain was so loud. It could have been God. It could have been God, or it could have been my other side of my brain talking. I don't know at this point, but it said, get the hell out of here. And I did that. And I just needed time for my brain to really um, get some fresh air. And this time of year is always difficult for me. One, because I didn't really have a relationship with my dad because he died when I was in the second grade. So every year, and it was really like a week and a half before my birthday. And I don't think my family really realized it. And they kind of like planned over my birthday with the funeral and everything. And since then, I never celebrated it. And I always, at this point, I always kind of distract myself with so much work and so much. And Friday, I didn't have anything else planned. I did it. I didn't do my radio show, and I forgot that I was scheduled to do a event late that night. This Zoom with Baltimore Conversation. Shout out to them. If you go to their page, you'll see me doing my actor thing. And
They
I
keep talking.
realized,
I gotta take this dog out before it starts to rain. So if I get
okay,
cut off, I'm a log back in as soon as I get in the house. But keep talking.
okay. So, but I didn't realize this year I had not planned over the weekend. Like
Hmm.
made sure every moment was accounted for. And I really thought, I think Friday it was real to me. Like, oh my God, you will be in this house this weekend by yourself
And
with
you did not
all of
want that.
these people, right? With all these people posting on Facebook their dad and their stories, and you have the bitter mom, the bitter baby moms, talking about this should be their dad. Like, I didn't want to see none of that. I didn't, and I think I tried to run away from it.
It's funny
And
that you're talking about that because I got to tell you about my experience this year too. But not. I don't want to start now just in case it cuts off. But go ahead.
yeah, just jump in. But I really wanted to. I wanted to like go crazy, and my
The
friend was like, "What's going on?" And I had to say it out loud because I never really said it out loud before. Maybe to one
hmm
or two friends, but I never went into details. And I had to
hmm
let them know, like this time of year is always like crazy for me. It's one thing to lose a parent, but that void that you feel can't be. You can't fill that void. I don't care how good a step parent is, and I had a good stepdad. Shout out to Billy. He passed away as well. But I had a good stepdad, and I had quite a few black male mentors in my life, and some white ones as well, that kind of filled the void for the time that I was with them. But those relationships kind of outgrow, or you grow distant, or that normally they were like school mentors. So we graduated, we moved on from that. But it hit me harder this year because I'm a year older. I'm older. So I am older than my dad was when he died. And it was very unfortunate. He died in his early 30s, and it wasn't sudden. We were expecting it, but as a child, you don't know how to expect something like that. You don't know how to brace yourself for something like that. And for me, the reason I love DDM and I love Fifth L for their contributions to Black men's feelings and emotions and storytelling. Their last two projects really spoke to me and really struck a chord with me. And I'm gonna try hard to get all three of them on at some point because their work really has spoke to me. And I've been listening to their music a lot over this past weekend, and it really Virginia. Oh my God, Virginia Wilkins. Hey, hey Virginia. So Miss Virginia, we're gonna get you on soon because I need you to come on and show them the magic that you're doing with my mannequin here. But get back to the story. Just share this out if you can. Please share this out if you're listening right now, and if you can call in 443-642-9403. And just getting to the honest part of it, you know, I never really had a relationship with my father until maybe like the last couple years of his life. Um, he was a young dad, like my mom was young too, and he made a decision that he didn't want to be a dad at that time. And what hurt me most was once I grew a little bit older and once I uh, started coming around my father's family, I realized he had other children. At that point, he had met a woman who had two children of her own, and he ended up having three children with her, in addition to um, uh, the two she already had. So that's five children. Two of them died as babies, but nevertheless, he still had three children with her, and then he had another child outside of their relationship, and we're all like I'm still older than all of them, but he was married to my mother, so that means throughout all that he never acknowledged his marriage, he never acknowledged his first child, and all of those thoughts. Imagine feeling all of that, and then you are in his presence more, and you're in his space more, and then he dies. And I never got to say I hate you or go through any of those ups and downs and eventually make amends. So I always felt like it was things I wanted to say that I couldn't say. I remember the night he passed away in University Hospital, and I was at his bedside, and everybody else had walked out the room. Even that last week visiting him, I would be by his bedside and I would be looking him in his face, and I wanted to say so much, but the mature part of me was like, "This is like no, this is not appropriate for you to say this like this." Um, and I remember the last night, the night that he died, we had just left the hospital around like 5 or 6 o'clock, and I just I think in my gut I knew this was going to be the last time that I saw him, and it was just so much going through my head that night, and we probably got home a good hour or two before we got a call from the hospital saying that this was the last night, his last night, and they were going to pull the plug, and I just recall not feeling anything. Like I feel something now, but I've gotten so past it, so far past it. But that night, I just remember being numb, and I remember wanting to, not wanting to deal with the stress or the drama of um, death. And I was trying to make sure everybody else was okay. Everybody left out the room, and when they pull the plug, they normally don't let people in the room unless the family chooses to be in the room. And I remember uh, them forgetting and leaving me in the room. And I remember watching him, and um, I guess he was in so much pain at the time that they had put him in induced a coma and put him into a induced coma, I think it's called a medical coma. And I remember, I think he had opened his eyes at some point, but I was trying not to look at him. But I was like looking at his forehead the whole time, and I remember seeing the machine. It looks like it was slowing down, and then first you see the line go flat, and then you hear the sound right behind it. And I felt like at that moment, um, uh, everything that I wanted to say, I could have said. Like at some point, I just knew he was going to break through this and be able to deal with me in a certain way. And I didn't know how to communicate my feelings and my thoughts at that time. And then all the adults just jumped into action, and after he died, everybody rushed into the room, and I just I did not remember, you know, what I wanted to say in that moment. I just jumped into action. And that happened to me several times when people died. When my great grandmother died, when my grandmother died, when my baby cousin died. Like, I just remember always being the person that jumped to action. And this was the one thing that kind of stuck with me. Um, most because I didn't have any resolve. I didn't have any all the other major deaths in my life. I didn't have anything that I did not say to them. Like, they knew they were loved by me, and I never had that type of relationship with my father. So growing up and now being 37, this year for Father's Day, it was really difficult for me to just move on and move forward, and um, I wanted so much to be past this. I felt like, maybe, like, you're 37 now. Like, I know I don't look 37, and I'm kind of fine, but but I just I wanted to be like over this. I've been trying to write a book, in the process of writing a book, and I'm actually working with a really good editor right now that has got me in the first phase of writing a book, because for a number of years I could not bear to put the words to paper, because if I put the words to paper, then I would finish writing what I could write, and then I would give it to an editor for them to shift around and format and all that, and it would be finished. And then I would have to sell it, and then I would have to show it to the world, and then my mother would read it, and then all these people in my life that caused me some type of pain would read it. Me being presumptuous, like, they will read it. And I wasn't ready to have those hard conversations. And I finally, this weekend, I feel like I am good and ready. I'm good and ready to just surrender my story, to surrender the pain, to surrender the time. And I'm not blaming everything on my dad, because as I said that I'm older than he was when he passed away. I said that for a reason, because I feel like at this point in my life, um, I'm really ready to let go, and I have a maturity level that is more understanding to my dad. You know, I couldn't imagine at 22. My dad was 22, like 22 when he had me, 21, 22 when he had me. I couldn't imagine having a child at that point. I'm not saying I would have necessarily did what he did, but I couldn't imagine having a child. And those moments he had with me, I could tell how hard it was for him to even speak about it, because you got a whole living, breathing creature right and human being in front of you right now, and you haven't done all that you were supposed to do for that person. And it really it spoke to me. It hurt in a different way this weekend because I was more angry at myself for not allowing myself to feel anything about this. I stopped being angry at him and my mother a long time ago. And actually, for the last 2 years, I really have spent a lot of time forgiving people and distancing myself so I can have that space to really honestly forgive. Because being around somebody who has hurt you is an ugly feeling, and nobody has done anything to move forward. So being around that person only makes you hate them. And I grew to hate a lot of people in my family. I grew to hate a lot of my friendships and the relationships I had, and I was growing really bitter. And topple that with this whole Black Lives Matter movement that we're in currently, I was hating the white people that I was working with. I was just hating people. And this weekend, I've really let myself just relax and let go of and kind of make plans, for my book, for my life, for everything. And I'm not all together right now. Like I'm not saying, oh, I got the magic key, but I have a stronger plan than I did coming into this. So going into this Father's Day, and I have to like really give a huge thank you to DDM and to Fifth L for being so honest in their work. And when I interviewed both entities, it really helped me to speak to that different part of myself. And I wanted to give them a lot of praise, a lot of love, a lot of respect because their work their work really initiated this in me. And interviewing them and listening to their work before I interviewed them and then having a conversation with them, I saw like, especially Femi from the Fifth L, I think me and him have talked more about this than I did with the other guys. But the conversation right now, and I wrote a message on my Facebook page this weekend, and it really spoke to where I was, and I'm gonna share that right now actually, because it really just defined just where I was this weekend. And I saw, like, how your memories come up in your timeline, and there were gaps in times where I wrote something. Some Father's Day I felt comfortable enough writing something, and then other Father's Day. But when I wrote this, and normally when I write anything on Facebook, I'm already past whatever I'm speaking about, and I just feel the need to share it. But I I really I I don't even know how to say it, but I um I came to a lot of understanding about myself this weekend. And I know my friends thought I was crazy, but I spent a lot of time throughout these couple days, and I still got two more, well, today, tonight, and then tomorrow night, to think over some things. But I feel a lot better now. I don't feel so anxious. And it was crazy because I was talking to my friend, and my friend was like, "Well, do your show, do your show, do your show." And I was like, I don't feel like, I want to, maybe Friday. I'll come back Friday. But I really uh, had something. So this weekend, I posted a photo, and it's really all that I know of is maybe like two other photos that exist with me and my father, but there are no other photos that I know of outside of those three photos that I have with him. Um,
I know
and
you
it's a
see my
photo.
question.
Say it again. No, I'm not. I don't like that one. I'm not. Sorry, close but no cigar. But I posted this photo of me and my dad, and it's one of my favorite photos in general. But it the crazy thing is I didn't remember I remember taking the other two photos, and I was actually younger in those photos. but I did not remember taking this photo. And my aunt gave me this photo, and I didn't ever remember taking the photo. And I could not. And crazy enough, I have a photo with my aunt, his younger sister, my aunt Val. I have a photo with her in the same location. I remember when we took the photo, but I didn't remember seeing. I don't remember having him here in that moment. So that's why it's one of my favorite photos because it forced me to and I remember everything. I remember being potty trained, so I remember everything in my life. So it was hard for me to understand why I couldn't remember that day, and that actually was the first day that it's hard to say the first day that I met him because that seems weird. But in all actuality, I don't know if he ever saw me as a baby or I don't know what that, but the first day that I remember meeting him, that I know that I met him was this day. And I think I had put that day out of my mind for so long because that was the first time that I remember my aunt coming to pick me up as well and bringing me to that family. Shout out to Westport. But I wrote, normally I work through this day and try hard to distract myself from the multiple Father's Day posts on my social media. But this year, I chose to face it and celebrate the time I did have with my father. Losing a father at a young age could leave a dangerous void in the life of a black man. Because I don't know any other race but my own, and I've watched many other black men suffer through this. A void that is often filled with superficial and artificial decisions. Long story short, be aware of the backstory before you judge the present or predict the future of any black man. And I gave a happy Father's Day to all the fathers that show up and to the ones who fill those shoes for many of us. Um, a special prayer for those who fall short and are absent. So that was my message to my dad and to many of the other men, and just how I've said I apologize for being angry for so long to myself, and I let go of the anger and the frustration that I had with my dad and many of the men in my family, like as in my uncles and great uncles and older cousins, who chose to um, turn a blind eye to me as a young black boy, and who saw my mother struggling with this black boy and saw my mother struggling with raising me. I had to forgive a lot of them and understand what my frustration was. And part of that was me having to do just what I just said, do. And that was, long story short, be aware of the backstory. The backstory is what is making us, many of us, who we are. And I gravitate towards a lot of people, specifically black men, who share this same uh, story about their dad. And it may be a little different depending on who you talk to, but that one failed relationship will equal a million and one failed relationships in that young man's life until he resolves the issues of that first black man that hurt him. And I had to really realize, and I was trying to call in on a person today, but one of my guests couldn't make it today, but she'll be here next Monday, Miss Tracy Jiggets. And she was the first person that ever stopped me and tell me how disrespectful and hard I am on other black men. And I never even asked her did she remember that, but I was going to bring that up in our conversation today. But I'll definitely bring it up next Monday. But it really um, it made me aware because I was so rude to black men. I was I was so dismissive and rude and just disrespectful. And most times it was justifiable. I cut my beard today. It's hair everywhere. Most of it was justifiable, but how I decided to do it was because a lot of the men hadn't done anything to me, and I was so rude to them. But I say all this to say that today was really, um, this weekend was really beneficial to me because I got to live in me. I got to be in my space, and I didn't even go out anywhere. I just dealt with me. I dealt with me. I dealt with who I was, and all of those things. And I fell back in love with the possibility of life, of being an artist, of being an entrepreneur, of, of being Nathan Stephen blank blank Cowser. I don't need to know all that. But I've really I've really just fell in love with me again. I fell in love with that good natured Nate that was always happy and always, and I say this, but there was an underlining meanness that was in me, like from a very young age. And I remember my mom telling me how mean my father was, and telling me that I'm going to end up like him if I don't get through that. So I learned to mask it with that part of me that was always nice and always quiet and always pleasant. But I had to come face to face with that person this weekend and really make some decisions in my life that amounted to me telling my story. And I didn't tell all of it because y'all got to read the book, and then you had to come to the one man show. But this has been a much better Father's Day for me than I've ever had. Um, I think I said Happy Father's Day to more men in my life than I've ever said before. Um, and it felt good this year. It wasn't just something that I said because it was being said in the room, but I said it out loud to so many people, either on the phone or on their Facebook post or however, in a text message. But I meant it this year for the first time ever. I can honestly say that. And I want to give thanks to all of those men. My father's name was Nathaniel Lewis Cowser. Um, my stepfather's name was William. I can't say his last name, but William. Uh, and I had other men in my life that really showed up for me in various ways. My uncle Johnny was always there for me. I could always call on him if I was having problems when I was younger. My uncle Larry, he wasn't really there for me, but I just remember just some things that he said to me, and it will play in my mind when I didn't have them. And he's recently passed away as well. And just a lot of teachers. St. Ignatius, I remember that was the first school where I had a black male teacher, Mr. Mr. McCoy. Shout out to him for being the first representation of like black intelligence that I saw, like a black male, a black intelligent man that was educated, not just smart, because most of the men that I knew were smart, all of them rather were smart. But he was the first educated, like went to college and was studying and was a teacher, and was, you know, uh, he was doing things in life. Um, and many of the men that I met, including Mr. McCoy, including my dad, including all the other men, they were all flawed. And that's the reason why I could not really honestly um like really absorb them in the current in the in our present relationship, because I saw the flaw before I saw like the other parts. And you know, a lot of, and as I said, some of those decisions can lead to some of those posts can lead to um, some ugly decisions that we make. That first that first bad relationship with our dad leads us to a lot of and I don't want to make a blanket statement, but for a lot of the men that I know, this is their story. And I just remember just a lot of the superficial decisions that I made. and dating and friends and relationships and just my personality. A lot of those things was me trying to fill that void that I felt like I was missing with him, and it really has been just a great weekend, and I can't say that enough because this was my first attempt on my own to make it better. All the other years I just made it worse by avoiding it or distracting myself and not really dealing with it. Um, and being forced to be a part of Father's Day celebrations and just being, oh, I gotta get out of here, and not really, respecting the moment that I was in. So, um, yeah. So if anybody want to join the conversation, call me 443-642-9403. Also, if you want to support the Artist Exchange and Be Exposed Radio, you can cash app us at Be Exposed $ Be Exposed Radio, or at our PayPal account at info@beexposedradio.com. Um, you're going to see some bigger things from the Artist Exchange. I've been sitting on a lot of the parts of who I was. Not to kind of deviate from the conversation, but it all kind of adds together. But um, I've been sitting on a lot of my talent, a lot of my know-how because other people were uncomfortable with me, or I had to kind of shrink a little bit to make other people feel like they were standing taller, and I refuse to do that anymore. Also, I um, what was I about to say? I've really just had to just find a different way of doing things, and I I did an event Friday night where I didn't feel good, and I had already said I was going to do it, so I forced myself to do it. I actually did a really great job, and it was a Zoom meeting for this organization called Conversations Baltimore. It's an LGBTQ dot organization that focuses on storytelling and creative events that kind of tell the story of individuals within uh, the LGBTQ community. And I took part in this, begrudgingly I did because it's an uncomfortable conversation again that I have yet to have publicly, but it really helped me to stand out. And it helped me to be myself of how, um, regardless of what people thought. Um, and I did a monologue from um, what was it? From Douglas Turner Ward's A Day of Absence. Um, and it was awesome. Like I felt great. I felt like I was being my best actor self. And we were celebrating Juneteenth. And I guess this organization decided to do it from the perspective of the Black LGBTQ community. And we got to create and just be ourselves. And I felt really, um, it was awesome. It was phenomenal. I really enjoyed myself. And it really allowed me to break down all the barriers that I often have within within this thing that I call art. And not necessarily worry. I never really worry about what people think of me, but it's more so what people think of me has often affected the work that I get and the opportunities that I'm able to see. But this time I didn't worry about any of that. I just performed. But yeah, I just feel, I don't know, I feel so much better. I don't feel like preaching. I don't feel like being angry. I don't feel like um, shouting, not doing any of that anymore. No matter how crazy you may be, is not going to dictate how I react. Um, and I just want to say thank you to the various people that continue to support me, the people that continue to encourage me, even the negative people who talk about me and don't think that it's going to ever get back to me. I really appreciate you as well because you inspire me to be be great just because. And you know, for the first time ever in life, and this isn't a knock to my mom either, because me and her have our own relationship, but it was the first time that I ever um just sit and thought about my father and thought about how much time I wasted not um moving on and not being hurt. And I think me holding on to the hurt was in essence my way of remembering him and forcing myself to acknowledge him and allowing me to have a relationship with him, even if it was an angry, bitter, dysfunctional relationship. It allowed me to do that. And I've just made the decision in this moment that I don't want a dysfunctional relationship and on any account. And the people who I have around me, I want them to be um, positive individuals. I'm tired of the gossip. I'm tired of being hurt by the same people in the same way. I'm tired of allowing people to hurt me. So, you know, I've cut off relationships, and it's not like be gone with you, but it's more me allowing myself the the ability to dictate who I want around me and what energy I want around me. And I don't want people around me who can only see what they can get and can only be there for the good parts of the story, and they're always absent for the bad parts. Like this weekend, this was I don't really consider this a bad part. But this was me kind of working on me. And Marley just said it this now, like no one is called, and it hurts a little bit, but when you realize it, they weren't meant to be there. And it helps you to really see what this relationship is. When people feel like you have nothing to offer them, they don't call. But the moment they see, oh, maybe you can give me a couple dollars to get me through this, I could. I just might could. I might can support your business. I might can buy your book. I might can buy your album or come to your show or share out, or I could do all those things. And if you look at all my posts and my social media pages, I do that. But I will no longer lend my heart, my soul, my love, my everything, my art, my hard work, my time, my energy to things and people that make me feel like shit. Long story short, and I really appreciate everyone who does what they can do to support me, to love me, to appreciate me. And for me, I'm not a words person, so I show my appreciation. I show my love through my loyalty, through my actions, through my support. But I'm not here for the BS anymore. So yeah, this weekend has really allowed me to kind of see and kind of I don't know. I like playing with windows. I'm crazy, but yeah, I've had a really awesome week and a really awesome show, and I told some truths. So um, look for my book. It's coming hopefully by Christmas of this year. Um, and I have the title. I don't want to say it because I'm a big person about energy, and I don't want people to put that bad energy on it. But the book to me isn't like this superficial social climber thing, but my book is really a testament to where I've come from, what I've been through, people I've met along the way, um, some of the hills I've climbed, some of the brick walls I've run into, and um, yeah, I am. I don't know, but I'll tell you like the premise of the book is how I learned to tie a tie. And that's
Is
kind of
somebody
the
laughing in the background?
first of all, can you mind your business? Mhm. If you gonna talk, I need you to talk. You gonna talk, I need you to talk. So how was your weekend, Monty? If you got a couple minutes.
um, my weekend, it was uneventful.
It was uneventful.
Yeah.
What did you do?
The biggest thing that I did this weekend is I went to Panda Express.
Oh, I'm mad. Oh, I'm so mad because I tried to order them on DoorDash and they was out and shit. Like, how
They
you do
always run
it?
out of stuff. And I think that's a good thing for them, seeing as though before this pandemic
It was the
happened.
middle of the
But
day.
look, before this pandemic happened, they were not that popular.
Okay.
And during this pandemic, it when you go up there, if you don't get it delivered, when you go up to
Which one did you
a
go
Panda
to?
Express, you know the one by Super Walmart. When you
Oh,
go
okay. I
up
didn't
to
go
a
to one.
Panda Express, either the drive-through line is super, super long, or you see people standing outside in a line
Recently,
waiting for
like
food.
during this, because I can tell you that one up there by what's the one?
The
What's that?
plaza.
Rice Plaza.
Hmm.
I don't care what time of day, you are always the person first in line. I don't care what.
It's never busy.
No, it's
It's
never.
never busy in a Panda Express. Never ever have I ever seen a line before this pandemic. And now it's always a line.
Right,
And
and
people
all
be
I
waiting
wanted was
10
that.
and 15 and 20 minutes for their food. That's why DoorDash is the way to
Not
do it and go pick it up.
right, but even with DoorDash, it was like maybe one on Sunday. It was like 1 o'clock on a Sunday, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Now they run out of stuff all the time because
Yeah,
they're not used to being busy.
yeah.
Now they run out of
I
stuff.
need you to order like the fuck you got
The
customers,
last
man.
time I went through the drive through, when I actually went to one with a drive through, they was like can we get what was it what they sell the three combination bowl
Yeah,
thing,
yeah, I know
and
what
you'd
you're
be like,
about.
can I
Yeah,
get orange chicken? Oh, we don't have any orange chicken right now. Well, how about give me two teriyakis and a firecracker shrimp?
well, you know,
I got
but
enough teriyaki chicken to give you one, and then I can try to make something else out of.
but I could see if they had a menu like Cheesecake Factory.
Mhm.
They got like a good 15 things on their menu. What the fuck? And most of them are chicken and shrimp. Like, what the fuck is wrong? You pop with chicken and shrimp. That's it. That's all you sell: chicken,
Mm-mm-mm.
shrimp, and vegetables.
That's it. That's all they got there. Fried rice, the
Rice, well,
greens.
rice. They will never run out of rice.
They have fried
But
rice and greens, and then they got those three entrees. It's like the firecracker shrimp, teriyaki chicken, um, orange chicken, and
I'm so mad.
I can't even remember the rest of the stuff because that's all I get.
It's black pepper chicken. That's it.
Oh
They
yeah,
got the
yeah.
black pepper chicken, and they just season it, but it's all chicken. It's either tempura chicken or like a baked chicken. That's it. That's all they got here. What's wrong with them? I was so mad.
Oh, I will
And
turn my camera
but
on, but no, no.
it's
It's still
only
Monday.
a couple minutes.
It's still Monday.
But I was so mad. Have you eaten from Matthews before? Matthews Pizza on
No.
Eastern Avenue?
Mm-mm. I'm still thinking about that crab cake, but I just ain't got $40 in me today or
Well,
tomorrow.
now let these people know what this crab cake is sitting on.
The crab cake was amazing. It gave me everything by G&M, but with less breading.
But it was no filling. You could
That's
taste
what I meant. Less
mustard and
filling. It was
everything.
less filling. It was everything G&M, but with less filling.
It was all crab cake. It tasted like all crab cake. You could taste the
G&M,
mustard.
I give it G&M and Timbuktu.
Oh, yeah.
It was both of them, and because it's like a carry out though, right? Is it like it's not like a full restaurant, is it?
It's like a tiny restaurant.
Like a couple
You know,
tables.
cafe style, like a cafe style.
Mm-hmm.
bistro kind of.
Yeah, see, it don't got that high end like G&M with all the tables and
It's
dining rooms and stuff.
pre-made and packaged.
Yeah.
Like no, they somebody.
As I said, give me G&M and Timbuktu and a soul food restaurant.
And you know why I like it? Because I've had it 3 different times, and every time it was a different shade. So that's how you know somebody sit back there and make it, and it's not just somebody just put a bunch of them together and just made it.
Oh my God, it is storming like crazy.
It just finished raining down here.
Oh no, it's thunder and lightning over here.
But I ended up having Matthew's Pizza. Now I'm not eating seafood because I was so
Where's
mad
Matthew's
at,
Pizza? Why did the TV cut back on?
I had Matthew's Pizza, and if you never had this on Eastern Avenue, Eastern and East.
Eastern and
Avenue.
East Avenue. That's East Drive
East,
or East
Eastern
Avenue?
Avenue, right there where that theater is, like
No,
right
East.
next to
That's
Park.
East Drive, right?
East,
And
is
Eastern
it East
Avenue.
Drive? I think it's East Street or it's East.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about because it's right in the
It's
middle
right
of
on
where it's never no parking.
Yeah, no, not on Eastern Avenue. You're gonna have to walk about. Maybe on one of the side streets, maybe.
That's like 3 blocks up from Bayview.
No. It's not. It's that's not. It's past the East.
It's before the bridge.
No, it's not even by the bridge. This is by the park, Patterson Park.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. They have it's called the crab pie. And it's $16.99 for this 10-inch crab pie, and it is delicious.
I wasn't
only
looking
ever
down.
used to eat that when I performed at that Creative Alliance across the street from me.
You gotta send it to me. I'm
If
sorry.
you
Wait,
eat that from
wait a minute.
somewhere,
I'm on a radio show and you just talking. Hold on.
telling all your business. But go ahead, I'll finish talking.
All right, thanks.
I really have, and I love just what this uprising has done for all of us and forced us to really start looking for things and looking for Black businesses. Now, granted, Matthew's Pizza is not a Black business establishment. I was called out on social media, but I get to spend my money on my treat myself weekend however I choose to. No Black business will ever tell me that I have to buy from them, especially with the higher prices, especially with the often absent, and I ain't gonna get into that because we still want to hide Juneteenth. But come on, Black businesses, step your shit up. When you get a pizza pie like Matthew's Pizza, then I'll put you on my list and I'll post you when shit good. I posted what was it? Soul Cuisine. I posted them. We just finished talking about that crab cake. Like people just and what I'm noticing now, and I didn't change the story, but we're gonna pick this part of the conversation up next Wednesday when I get Miss Tracy Diggins on, because this conversation was really for her. Like I wanted to have this conversation with her. So I'm gonna pick up that part of the conversation then. But with all this going on right now, we have to start being nicer to each other and not nitpicking and kind of trying to create our own tribes. Like now we have the essential worker tribe, we got the unemployed tribe, the unemployment benefit tribe, we got the the social service tribe, we got the I'm gonna make a way out of no way. Like everybody just everybody just trying to be for them. And I hate it. I hate how it has affected us. I hate how it's so ugly. And that's what this weekend was for me. Like just that high of Juneteenth, celebrating it, and really just allowing us to be just better people, and just me being a better person. That's what this weekend has really meant for me. And I'm a lover of history, and I'm a lover of history and just space and time, and I'm a lover of those things, and I just want everybody to just enjoy each other. I want everybody to be better with each other. Like even our deadbeat dads, everybody has a story, and most times something traumatic has happened to that person or been done to that person. I just went out to the store today and I heard a man, and it broke my heart because this man could have been my grandfather out there talking about being molested. And you can still feel the anger inside of him. You can still feel the pain inside of him. And I can tell it was maybe like an uncle or something like that, because this man he was cussing and fussing, and trauma happens to all of us. And that saying that hurt people, hurt people, it's so real. It's so, it's just real. And we gotta, we gotta get to a better place. Um, we just gotta to a better place with being more understanding. You don't have to tolerate the things that people do, but we gotta stop judging each other. Because if you had to walk a mile in that person's shoes, where would you be? I'm very grateful that I don't look like what I've been through. And it took people saying certain things to me over the course of my life to really wake me up and get out of my own way. But I heard them, and some of those bad decisions had already happened to me, and the results of those bad decisions had already happened to me. But right now, I feel more empowered than I've ever felt in my whole life. I feel more energetic. I feel more positive. I feel more respectful. I feel more mature. I feel more loved. I feel more engulfed. I feel more, just more. I just feel more. I want more. This weekend has shown me and took me back to my 20s when I used to treat myself. You know, I really, this moment has really taken me back to that place. And I'm just like, so I'm always a happy person. I'm always going to choose joy. But this moment has really given me a sense of myself that I felt like I had lost forever. And I have a person that I'm going to bring on, but we have to have our initial meeting to kind of discuss some of the stuff that's going on with me right now. And that conversation is going to come. The book, more information on the book is coming. And just stay tuned in to Be Exposed Radio, the Artist Exchange radio show every Monday and Friday at 5 p.m. This week, or should I say this week or next week, July, we're going to I'll bring back the Let's Do Lunch with Nate, and have a new support staff member, so all that. I think tomorrow it is going to be Talk Lately with Mommy. Uh, and then stay tuned in. Just follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, so you'll get the alerts when our shows come on. Subscribe to our YouTube page, subscribe to our Facebook page, and subscribe to the Artist Exchange page as well, so you can get the alerts whenever we come on. So peace out. This has been the Artist Exchange Radio Show with me, Nate, and Shania had to go, but Shania was on here earlier. She keeps doing these drive-bys. Peace out.